when I was a kid, I had very few things that were totally clear in my mind. So, number one, I liked toys. Number two, I loved video games. And number three, I loved my friends. So, these three activities, in my mind, fell under three very clear and distinct categories. So, let's go to number one, the toys. Objects that I was able to touch, to take apart, to build, and also to throw away at some point. They all were considered as hardware in my mind. Then, the video games. I had really no idea of how they actually worked, but I kind of knew what they were, so that was pretty clear in my mind. They were software, pieces of software. And then, my friends, last but not least. So, creatures with emotions, made of feelings, looks, contact, and soft skin, and they all fell under the insanely complicated and crazy category that we call humans. The invention we're talking about today is an example of how technology is mixing up together these three categories at a point that they're becoming hard to distinguish one from another. And it's not the only example. So, for example, artificial intelligence, robots, social media, all these machines are not only reshaping our lives on a daily basis, but they're reshaping themselves around us, the humans. So what I think is that we're getting close to that day where we will not have to learn how to use machines anymore. The creative industry is being affected by this huge change, like many other spaces. So an industry that just went through 30 years of a radical revolution that's shaken it from their roots because of the digital revolution is about to completely change again. So today, we're talking about the instrument that we have invented. We have invented a wearable music instrument. There is an example, a disruptive example of what happens when the machine adapts to our hand. And it's a unique example of what happens when we become the instrument itself. And when we harmonically combine with a machine that turns our gestures into sound. Please. Thank you. So the Remidi glove is designed around the most powerful tools that we all own, our hands. So the fact of having machines being such an active part of the creative process is leading to questions that basically never came up before. Like, for example, who made it? Was it the author, the human, or the machine? Or did they make it together? Or, like the Daft Punk say, was technology just one member of the band? I personally think that creativity is one of the few ways we have to look for answers in this inexplicable world. I personally have dedicated my whole life to it, in particular to music. As a very improvised DJ and music producer with a semi-decent success, I have always thought that I would have loved to live in a world where everyone was inspired to experience creativity in the most powerful and intuitive way. So, let's go to statistics. Let's do it. Among you guys, statistically, there should be a 10% of musicians. I'm talking about just people who have any type of relationship with music instruments. Might be professional or just amateurs. So, whoever play a music instrument, please raise your hand. So, the statistic is confirmed. Between 10 and 20% of you guys play music instruments. So, our goal is to empower the other 80% to be a music player. And let me shoot an easy example. One of our co-founders is probably the worst music player I ever met. But thanks to what we have built, he is able to feel, to prove often the amazing feeling of creating something, of giving birth to something. And that's amazing, in my opinion. So, to make it clear, guys, I don't have the solution to spread the talent all over you guys, neither of myself. But what I think is that our brain gets stimulated in a very unique and impactful way when we do have the feeling of being able to create something. And the fact of being part of a movement of companies, innovators, designers, who are leveraging technology to bring this feeling to the biggest number of people in the world is just amazing. And what I hope is that the product we have built will be just a quarter of a step, like a beat, in the right direction. Thank you very much.